Good evening, ladies.
Good evening, good evening,
Good
good evening.
evening.
Hi.
Everyone, we have a special guest with us today, and Wendy is going to introduce her.
We do the new face you see at the bottom of the screen, the beautiful, lovely.
Or the top of the screen.
Or yeah. Does it show differently sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's at the top of
I'm
Oh,
at the
okay,
top.
okay. All right. Is the lovely Schwanda Tuggle. She is with us today to discuss. She's a travel agent. She's been a travel agent for many, many years. How many years, Schwanda?
It is about 10 to 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere up in there. Yeah.
She's our resident expert on travel. Okay.
Right.
So she's going to share with us some tips. Well, not tips, but she's going to share with us how travel relates to wellness. So we're still on our wellness series now. So we're talking about travel and how it relates.
Okay.
Well, I am looking forward to understanding that because I love to travel and I'm all about being healthy. So I love that wellness part.
Well,
Yes.
yeah. It kind of helps you with that. But thank you, Wendy. So as she stated, my name is Schwanda Tuggle and I own She Be Trippin' Travel. You know, girl power. So
Yes.
but as it relates
Say
to
that again. Say that again real slow.
girl
So the
power,
name of the business.
she be tripping.
Okay.
Yeah, so and it just said that it's the concept is in the name. She be tripping around the world, she be tripping having fun while she's traveling, she be tripping just every day in life to get through, right? So
Hey, can I interrupt you just for 1 second? Because I guarantee you that most people don't understand when you say they think tripping in the colloquial terms, but
yeah,
you mean tripping and traveling.
right,
So it's a
tripping.
double. It's a double.
It's a double stay. Like
Yeah.
it's a tripping. She be tripping around the world, but she be tripping like
Right.
having fun. She's acting crazy. She's
Yeah.
enjoying life.
Yeah.
She's just out there. But I'm doing it whether I'm locally, or if I'm traveling, then it's kind of a double edge to it. So kind of have two
I know that
parts
because
of it.
I follow her on Facebook, and she
Yeah.
has some very funny, very always entertaining pictures, videos, and whatnot. So go ahead, Shawanda.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So just to piggyback off of Wendy, it's like we do have, we take pictures and kind of journal our trips that we do take. And I do manage or host like 2 trips a year with up to 50 women.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
But I also do individual bookings or individual reservations. If you, Chris, or you want to go somewhere at Wendy, or if anyone just wants to get their girls together or their babe together or their family together or what have you, just to kind of get that vacation or just that getaway. But how it relates to kind of your conversation about wellness is it was funny that Wendy called me about this because I'm kind of going through it now with it because so many things going on with life, right? Like life is lifing. So in order to kind of, get back to your groove or just get back to your center, for some people, it's traveling can do that. It's just getting away from your everyday norm, getting away from your address, getting away from your city, getting away from just the everyday people that call you, whether you're mom, wife, job, neighbor, sister, friend, whatever, just getting away from that. And sometimes it involves solo travel, right? So solo travel is, can be, some people call it scary, but it's the most rewarding thing you would ever do for yourself because you are actually taking life by the hands and going out on your own and traveling somewhere by yourself.
It really is because I've traveled many places by myself.
And you have the most
See,
fun.
I have never done that, but I do admire ladies that do it. I do. I take my hat off to.
Yes, I mean it's easy though, because if you're by yourself, you're more prone to talk to people because now
Exactly.
you're looking for a conversation, right? So
Okay.
you're more open to talk to people because you're there by yourself. So I mean, I do promote it with my ladies that do travel, and I try to tell them to start off on like a resort where it's already a lot of people there. So it's easier to kind of get your feet wet. But I have some daredevils that will go off the beaten path by themselves, and I'm like, okay. But you know, again, but other countries are more welcoming than, you know, America is. So
Yeah.
but it kind of helps.
Okay.
Nice,
Okay.
very nice.
Well, we do know that there are lots of therapeutic benefits to travel. You know, I prefer the ocean, you know, to go to the ocean with the beach, I should say.
Right.
So the ocean air, you know, clears your sinuses. You never are stuffy when you go to the ocean. Have you noticed that?
Right. Right.
It's
And the
amazing.
water is peaceful.
Yes, yes.
So,
And just convening with nature, I think, offers some serenity, you know?
that's true.
Yeah.
hmm But on those trips where you have these 50 women that you, and I see, yeah, you should see it, Chris. It's like 50 of them on a yacht. I should say a yacht,
That is
not a
amazing
boat,
to be able to
right?
get 50 women together like that's
I
amazing.
know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It looks like it's very coordinated. It's very, you know, the same color, the swimsuit,
Yeah.
and the whole nine. Are you guys having as much fun as you look like you're having?
Yes, we are. Now again, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, it's just oh my God, we just came back the best bunch in the world, right? Again, it is 50 women. Let's be clear,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
We are talking about 50 women here. But what happens is with so many people, you will have those that kind of click off, right? Oh, okay, well,
Yeah,
she wants to do this, let me go with her. Oh, she's an early bird. Let me go to breakfast with her. Oh, she's
yeah.
late. She's at the bar down at night. So you do have the ones that kind of have similar interests that will kind of, you know, click up with each other. And again, when we are doing these large groups, I don't take your whole trip up. We have a meet and greet, we have one event together, and we have our farewell dinner. Anything in between that, you get your clicks up, y'all do what y'all want. But you know, I don't put it that's too much time, because again, it's your vacation as well, right? So even though we're going as a group, I do want you to have that individual time so you can do something that you want to do. So I don't like to take it all up, especially when we're doing our Caribbean locations. Now, when we're doing our international locations like Greece and Bali and Dubai, those are more itinerary driven. So everybody is pretty much together based on the itinerary. And then you have your free time after that event for the day is over.
Okay.
How long are your trips normally? Those trips with the 50 women, how many days?
Aruba, we did 50 in Aruba. It was 5 days, 4 nights.
Okay.
Just enough time to get it together, right? Just enough time, right? So, and those typically, if I have that many women, it is on a Caribbean island because you're on a resort, right?
Right,
You don't
right.
have to be together all the time.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
So tell me, what trips have you planned that you would consider more therapeutic trips for women?
It all depends
Good question.
on what's your type of therapy, right? Just like Wendy mentioned, the water, the beach, that's her thing, right? I'm a water girl as well. I can wake up in the morning and sit at the beach or at the pool all day long. I don't have to go anywhere. But that's just me. That's what I like to do. I'll get a book. I'll get my, you know, just stay out at the, get a suntan or whatever. And some people just like to see the island or the spa on a resort is, you know, every, you know, a lot of is a plus for all of the women. It just depends on in the location as well. Some locations are not therapeutic locations, right? You know, so if we're going to Jamaica, you're not going to Jamaica to relax. You're going to Jamaica to party.
True.
You know, so you're not going there to look for your woosah moment. You're going there to party. So it's different people for different things. But for instance, I have a Bali is considered one of those places where there was a movie on Eat, Love, Pray. So it's kind of like a therapeutic place because it's so, you know, calm and laid back, and it's just, you know, the scenery, just everything about it. It's slow motion. So some people may consider that, you know, things to do. It's a lot of spas, a lot of wellness centers in Bali that you
Oh,
can
okay.
just kind of step back and, you know, have your moment. But it all depends on who the person is and what you're going to do. Like my trips are not considered, I don't label them or I don't promote them as we're going on a therapeutic journey, right? Or
Right, of
we're
course
going,
not.
you know, so but some people find what they need in each trip, you know, so they
Right.
know at some point in between those 4 or 5 days that we're together, they will find something, you know, to get their piece of peace in.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Now, are they, well, I guess the safety concerns are not, or more like for smaller groups, right? The safety concerns. When you're in numbers like you guys, your groups,
Mhm.
you don't have to be so much concerned about safety, right?
Well, it depends on where we are too, right? So a lot of things that we're doing on the resort, or we're, like I said, we do one off the resort excursion together. But typically the resorts that we are on, any Caribbean island you go to, of course, you know, when you're going on these all-inclusive resorts, you have to get past security to even get on the location or on the grounds. So knock on wood and knock on everything, I've never had any issues with anywhere that we have been with all of my ladies that I've traveled with. Recently, last year, November, we went to Dubai and I let guys come for the very first time.
How was that?
Really?
Right.
Tell us about that.
Right. I thought so it was couples, right? Of course, it was couples. There's no single men that trip. I'm trying to break off and have a he be tripping, but it's just not working. Men don't travel in groups. I don't know why, you know. So in order for them, it had couples were traveling. So I thought the guys was gonna make it kind of weird, you know, with so many women. But they kind of made it easy going. They took care of all of the women, you know, even though they were coupled.
Okay, so you had, sorry to interrupt you there, but you had single women and
Yes.
couples.
Yes. So I thought that was going to be a problem. I was like, okay, people got their husbands here. I don't want them saying, okay, why she got that thong on and the husband over there. So I was like, okay, well, that was my concern previously, because I was like, okay, my husband was there, 8 other husbands were there, but they were cool. And they had about 18 single women. But it worked. We had no issues. We had no problems. The guys took care of all of the women that was there. So much so that they invited themselves to Bali. Like they weren't even invited to Bali,
Oh,
but
really?
they have invited themselves to Bali. Yeah. So
when are you going to Bali?
We are going to Bali in October. So I have like 45 people right now. And
nice. What's the temperature of the weather in October in Bali?
It is hot year round in Bali, but it's around 85, about 85, but it's a different kind of hot.
Is it dry heat or?
Yes.
Dry heat.
It's dry heat. Yeah, it's not really bad. It's just there's a lot of bugs because again, you're in like rainforest.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You're in rice fields. It depends if you're further out. So there's 2 sides of Bali. There's Ubud, which is more in the rice fields, and you're more of the woodsy and the trees and everything. And then it's a city part, which is like Kuta and Seminyak, which is closer to the city. It's not as buggy, I'm gonna call it, but in Ubud, there's geckos everywhere and just little things you've never seen before. So
that's going to be interesting with your group when they start seeing all those little creatures running around that they're not accustomed to seeing.
You just turned me off of Bali a little bit, girl.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that. When we went to Kenya last year and we were in the Serengeti, I think we saw a little bit of everything, like really things that, because you're when you're going through the Serengeti and you're going on your safari, you're driving through national parks, right? So you get up in the morning, pack your Jeep up and you go from wherever you've slept at that night to the next location. And along the way, you're seeing your gaming drives, right? Whether you're seeing rhinos, elephants, giraffes, whatever. But one of the ones that we stayed at, it was the Serengeti, and it was, for lack of better words, huts. Okay, we were staying in huts that was half concrete, half heavy tarp. But it didn't look like heavy tarp because it was dark. So it looked like a real, kind of like a cabin or house or whatever, but it was on stilts, not stilts, but tall layered stacks. So it was sitting high off the ground.
Okay.
And when the guy was walking us to our room, he had a machete and a flashlight. And it was that dark, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And we were like, okay, so why do we have a machete and a flashlight, right? He was like, oh, it's to scare the animals off. I said, okay, so what are we supposed to do when you try to get rid of him with the flashlight and the machete? Like, what are we supposed to do? And he's like, don't worry, the light will scare them away. So we had like 5 of them in a row. So he had to walk each of us to our room. And he was like, don't come out the door once we let you in.
Oh my goodness, I would not stay there.
I heard a similar story to that. So
listen, we laughed about it the next day, but because it was tarp, we could hear each other talking because it was, and we didn't know it at first that it was tarp. And one of our friends called our room and she was like, girl, is your wall moving? I'm like, what? She's like, is your wall moving? I was like, what you mean? She was like, my ours is moving. And so I looked at the black thing and I touched it and it was heavy tarp.
And that heavy tarp was supposed to keep the animals from y'all.
I guess. Well, they didn't get inside because we were up all night. I think we slept on the gaming drive. We didn't see an animal for about 3 hours because we were asleep. Because we stayed up all night long listening for sounds and everything. And it was crazy. It was an experience to talk about.
Yeah.
But in the middle of it, yeah.
So that was just one night there, right? Just one night in the.
That was one night because that was on our gaming drive. And then we went to another place, right? And then another place. So the other places were pretty cool. That was the only kind of scary one because we were telling him all the sounds. Our driver the next day, he was telling us all the sounds we heard. He was like, "Oh yeah, that was a lion." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, that was a lion you heard." Thanks.
I know, right?
He doesn't like the taste of people. Don't worry.
I you know what? I wasn't gonna find out. I stayed in that room. I just was looking at my friend, look at me, look at her, and we was like, all right, we just gonna stay up all night long. So I don't have time to be going to sleep and something, at the window. We just were up the whole night.
So what has been your favorite? How much time we have left, Chris? I don't want to.
Oh no, we've got like about 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Okay. So Africa, even though it was scary, even though it was crazy, Africa was my favorite.
Kenya.
Okay. Tanzania. We say Tanzania, right? It's Tanzania.
Tanzania. Okay.
Tanzania. It was my favorite. It was my favorite because I said we need to normalize going back to Africa because it's not the Africa we think, right?
Yeah.
We went from Kenya, we did a 4-day safari, and then we went over to Zanzibar. And Zanzibar's waters is the clearest water I ever seen in my life. The guy went under the water, went to the bottom, got me a shellfish, came back up and gave it to me. I saw him go all the way down, pick it up, and come back and give it to me in my hand.
The water was just
the water is that clear.
Oh my
God. The water is that clear. And we need to normalize going to Africa. We went to the Maasai tribe, their village. And they kind of showed us, their huts and got to meet the people of their village. And it was my birthday. It was my 50th. So each little place we went to, they were giving me cakes or something, right? And this particular day, they cooked me a goat.
A goat.
All right. And I was fine. I was like, okay, well, I didn't want to disrespect them. So we was like, we had to chew. I mean, they started the fire with elephant dung, which was crazy to see.
Okay.
Right? And I'm sitting there like, that is not gonna light up. I'm standing there waiting, but it's not gonna light up. Prove me wrong. Got a big old fire.
Of course, they do it all the time, Schwanda. That's how they
right, but me looking at them with
It's
elephant,
called
like, yeah,
dinner.
this shit is not gonna work. So, but it did. And then so I'm like, okay, cool. So I looked at it. So they had already, had the goat hanging by the little trees or whatever, and was cutting it up. And then they were brewing the blood of the goat. Because they were saying, yeah, if you take this, you are a warrior, you're a strong, whatever. So you know me, Wendy, I'm always gonna try something. So all of my friends, they were like, I'm not drinking that. I was like, okay, let me just see what it tastes like. So the guy's like, here, take it. So you're gonna, it's warrior blood, you're gonna be strong, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. So I sipped it. It didn't taste like anything. Like it didn't, it was blood, it was boiling, but it didn't taste like nothing. Like I don't know why it didn't taste like anything. It was red boiling blood, but it didn't taste like anything. And my friends was joking, talking about, you're gonna wake up tomorrow looking like Benjamin Button. Because I was the only one that drank it, right? But I was fine. I tasted the goat. It just tastes like meat, right? But then I looked over and I saw the skin of the goat. I was like, okay, y'all should have hid that. Y'all should have buried it in the ground or something like that. So I wouldn't look over there and see it.
Just turned you off.
Right. I was like, oh my God, I was okay until you let me see the skin of the goat, so but it was
eyes and things didn't bother you.
Right. No, I didn't see all that. They must have turned it backwards. So
okay.
I didn't see all that. But so we didn't want to be disrespectful. So we we chewed it, and then that was it. And thank you. And they showed us their huts, and it's just amazing how grateful they are for the little bit that they have.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. I mean, they had one hut with, it's probably as big as your bathroom, and it has a place for their kitchen, 2 bedrooms, their bed, and in the midst of all of that, there's a video, Wendy, I'll send it to you. In the midst of all of that, their small little hut, the Bible was sitting right there on the edge of their bed. In the midst that little small room, they had a cow skin for their bed, like a cow skin for their bed. And the other side was it's dirt floor, and it was probably the size of your bathroom, like your guest bathroom at that, just or your little toiletry at that. And they had their Bible sitting right there. And I saw that when I was walking, I was like, in the midst of this, they had their Bible. Like, they're thankful for what they do have. And I just think, as you get to traveling all over the world, you understand that we Americans take so much.
We take so much for granted. We really do.
It's so much for granted, and they are just happy with what they have, and we're wasteful and just not appreciative. And they're just appreciative of everything. They were so happy. The kids was running around playing, So it was. Some of it is just like so heartfelt to kind of witness. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad to know that was your favorite, because I know you've been all over, know. So then Kenya Tanzania.
Yeah, Africa was my favorite.
Your favorite.
Nice. Hey, well, everyone out there listening, Schwanda is really bringing us some interesting information on all her travels around the world. So make sure you write down, is your website shebetrippin.com?
It is. Well, actually, my husband is working on my website. However, on my socials, for IG, it is she_B_tripping, TRIPPING. And then on Facebook, it is She Be Trippin' without the G. So I am working on the website and everything. But just if you travel with a group, or if you travel by yourself, or if you travel with your friends, it's just get out and see the world. Whether you have to start doing it domestically, is it just a Caribbean, and work your way to international. But it is so good for the soul to just kind of see things outside of your everyday norm, to make you appreciate your everyday life.
Well,
Oh
from a
yeah, it gives you
wellness,
a worldview, I think.
yeah, and from a wellness standpoint, just getting out, getting away from
Right.
the hustle and bustle of life, and being relaxed, just getting freeing your mind. That's
Yeah.
wellness in itself for yourself,
Yes.
your self wellness. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So
Yeah.
listen, guys, check her out. Check out her Facebook page and her Instagram page. If you want to plan a trip, hey, plan a girls trip. Your birthday's coming up. She Be Tripping is the place to go
Yes.
to make it happen. And
Yes. Yes.
don't forget, like us, subscribe, leave
Share,
a message,
comments.
do all of that. If you like what you hear, do all of that. So, Shawanda, it's been wonderful listening to your
Yes. Thank
excursions,
you.
your escapades around the globe.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Where's
Thank
your
you so
next trip?
much.
Before we leave, where's your next trip?
Well,
Maybe
I
take
am. Well, I actually my next trip for my business is to Cancun, but I'm actually going on a Virgin Voyages cruise in March, which is I'm gonna plug that in there. That's a new adults only Virgin Voyages cruises. No
Okay.
children running around eating all the ice cream and everything. So Virgin Voyages, and so I'm going to check that out. I'm going solo. So I'll let you guys know how that is. Virgin Voyages is supposed to be like really, really cool, the food and everything. So I will check back in with you guys to let you know how I enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I'm not a big cruise person, but
Me neither.
are you a big cruise person, Wendy?
No, I'm not.
You're not. I see.
I'm
I'm
not.
not either.
I'm not.
On two cruises, and actually, I went on one cruise by myself for my birthday. About 5 or 6 years ago, I went on a 5-day, 4-night cruise by myself. It was fun, but it was like, okay, I've done it twice. I don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I
that
mean,
kind of
I'm not a
thing.
big cruise person because I like to get up and go too much.
Yeah, so do I. Like to explore and go
Yes.
on to the. I won't say necessarily the countryside, but I
Yeah.
want to learn about the place. I don't want to just be on a
Yeah.
boat. No.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see. This will be my first one on Virgin, and the experience is supposed to be so much different than the others. So
Nice.
we will
Okay.
see. So I will
Awesome.
report
Awesome.
back.
And Wendy, any closing remarks? Oh, you froze. She
Oh,
froze.
I know. I was like, what is she doing? I was like, is this the mannequin show?
He'll probably come back. This happens periodically.
Okay.
It hasn't happened in a while, but all right. So Wendy, let me see if I can tell her that she has frozen.
Let me it looks like
Um,
she dropped.
she dropped. She did
Yeah,
drop.
looked like she
Yeah,
dropped.
she
And then
did drop.
maybe her phone went out.
And you know what? It could. You know what? It's still raining over here by me, so it could be the weather too.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. And I didn't even know it was raining here. So
Interfering with the internet.
oh,
But
okay.
thank you for coming on. I have really, and I hope that our viewers have enjoyed
Oh,
it as well.
yes. I had a good time. I was nervous. I was like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do?
No, it was wonderful. It's always nice when you can talk to someone about anything and they
Right,
really know what they're talking about.
right.
And
Yeah,
you really, are inspired me to, I mean, I travel a lot myself, but
yeah.
you've inspired me to go to some more exotic places.
Yes,
So,
yes. Check them out. Like, just go see them. I mean, just travel the world, like experience it. You may not like everything, you may not like everywhere, but at least I'm a firm believer in I would rather have said, I didn't like it instead of I regret not doing it, right? I don't
right,
want to I don't want to have a
exactly.
life of regrets. I want to go and see for myself and then let me make my own decision. So
Okay, so we lost Wendy. She's not there, so I can't let her back
okay.
in. So I just want to thank you
You're
so much.
welcome.
Really appreciate it and enjoyed you as well.
Thank you so much, Chris. I really had a good time. It was easier than
Hey,
I thought.
absolutely. And I'd like for you to come back when we go live one time because which
Oh,
when
okay.
we go live. Hey, everyone out there, we are going live because we want to chat with you while we're up here chatting. We want to chat with you as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that is our goal. But thank you again. It's been wonderful. Have a great evening.
You're
And you're
welcome.
welcome back anytime.
Okay, great. You guys have a good night.
Night, everyone.
Bye.